Today we gonna react to episodes 3 and 4 of The Last Dance. Okay, so let's get right into the drama because we got so much drama from this episode.
Right.
Okay, so initially when we were watching the show, okay, you know, the Pistons walked off the court after the Bulls won in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest takeaways from the show, I don't know if it was 3 or 4, morph it into one. My biggest takeaway from week 2 is the way that the Pistons walked off the court, didn't shake hands, didn't dap up anybody after, the Bulls won in 1991. Big mad. So personally, I have a lot of feelings about this because my initial feelings were terrible attitude. Terrible sportsmanship.
Terrible.
And Isiah Thomas had me weak, in his little confessional.
Yeah.
When he was saying, so what? We're mad. We're just supposed to walk off and just say, good game. Love you, brother. Mm-hmm. That has me weak because nowadays, at the end of the game, it just seems like a transaction because the game immediately over. Everyone daps up, swaps jerseys, take pictures with each other, post on the gram. But there's a lot of feelings and there's a lot of emotions that go into the game.
Heavy emotions.
Imagine how devastated they were. That just goes, the people want real, they keep talking about it's more than a game.
Yeah.
They're more than athletes. So you can expect them to have emotions surrounding the game and not be able to just go out and smile and great game, Micah. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of see why, they were wrapped up in their emotions and walked off the court. They were playing a different game than they're playing now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a friendlier league now.
It's a way friendlier league. We gotta remember, this was back then where they were scrapping and fighting and nobody was calling any technical fouls. It was more than a game back then. They were more than athletes. The emotions were surrounding them. I ain't even mad now thinking back the way they walked off. But go ahead and talk about Isiah Thomas, what he was saying.
So as far as Isiah Thomas and them walking off the court back then, I'm not really mad at that. Like Symone basically said it all. Their emotions were high. Was it the classiest thing to do? Obviously not. But like we said, the league was different back then than what it is now. So it's just a thing. It's not that deep. But what I do have a problem, yes, Symone?
And Isiah Thomas made a good point. He made a lot of points, but he made one good point on First Take when he was saying they were coming off their descent.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls were on the rise at that point, so they had a lot on their minds at the end of that game. Is this the end? Is this blah, 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 blah? That's a lot to just have to go and smile and dap somebody up.
It's a tough pill to swallow for a couple of reasons. One, because like Isiah Thomas was saying in First Take, they were on the decline, the Bulls were on the rise. He also noted in First Take, he called them, the Pistons were the teachers, the Bulls were the students. It's gotta be hard for the teacher when the student open pass. You can't tell the student nothing no more. So all that's a tough pill to swallow. And for those reasons, that's why I'm not necessarily mad at, how the Pistons reacted. But I do gotta like Isiah Thomas up for a couple of things. One, he was talking about, and I'm gonna get into the whole Dennis Rodman thing right now about, Isiah Thomas made a comment on First Take saying that when Dennis Rodman was in Detroit, he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't gamble. He said those things. My thing about that is, and then he tried to get on his high horse about how Detroit had rules and regulations, this, that, and the third, and great coach, all this, third.
Even though they was beating dudes up.
Exactly. First of all, Isiah Thomas, y'all was beating dudes up on the court. Y'all was on film saying, if Michael Jordan go in the air, we just gonna throw him out the air. First of all, that's dangerous. Second of all, y'all were not the team to look up to. Okay, maybe y'all had rules and regulations. Every team got rules and regulations. The Bulls just wasn't them doing whatever they want. They knew how to handle Dennis Rodman. And that's why Max made a good point countering Isiah Thomas saying that, well, if y'all would have done things differently, would Dennis Rodman have stayed in Detroit longer? Exactly. I was like, and then Dennis Rodman was able to stay with the Bulls longer, maybe because they did give him that leash. Maybe because they let him take his 48 hours or 54 hours or however long it was, because he didn't come back on time. We knew he wasn't.
We knew he wasn't.
But either way it goes, don't try to act like y'all team was just the best cream of the crop team out there when it came to rules and regulations. Exactly, like y'all the best mentors, the best influences. No, get off that. I didn't agree with that at all. The Bulls handled it the way they wanted to handle it. Y'all handled Dennis Rodman how y'all want to handle it. Teams do things differently. And you were saying that about the whole handshaking thing. Teams, he was saying that teams handle emotions differently. Every player, every team has different emotions. Like y'all had different emotions than what the Bulls did. So y'all, you can't be talking about how teams operate. You stay on your team and you don't worry about how other teams operate. Point blank, period. So I didn't agree with that at all.
Fired up. So Dylan, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me get in my Stephen A bag. I have one question for you, Dylan Matthews. I got one question. Okay, let me ask you, what's your opinion on Isiah Thomas? And we have to respond to so many things Isiah Thomas said because he has so much to say and so many bold statements.
Right.
What was your opinion on him saying the Bulls not only took their players, but also, in order to win, mind you, even though they was already winning, they had to take their players and they had to take their culture, like their defensive, physical culture. They said Michael Jordan hit the gym. What, he gained 10 pounds, 15 pounds in muscle? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But, they were like, okay, we got to get physical if we want to match up with the Pistons. What's your thoughts on Isiah Thomas saying they took our players and they took our physical defensive mindset?
First of all, Isiah Thomas, I'm about to fire you up again. Don't try to sun the Bulls like you did in first take. Don't try to sun them. What they did, they made adjustments. Okay, yes, they got your players. I give you that. Did they take a little bit of your philosophy or whatever you called it, psychological culture, whatever you said? Okay, yes, they did, maybe, but really, all they did was get more physical because you were getting physical with them. Y'all didn't have some magic potion, some magic culture that y'all had going on.
Isn't a secret sauce.
Exactly. Y'all didn't have no secret sauce. All y'all was doing was beating dudes up. All y'all were doing was not letting Jordan get it. It said in the thing, like I said before. Y'all said if Jordan got in the air, foul him, knock him down. That's not. Y'all wasn't doing nothing special. Y'all was just gonna hit him and make him earn it. Y'all didn't do anything special. So what I'm saying is, don't try to sun them like you gave them some secret recipe, like y'all had the Krabby Patty formula or something like that. Don't try that. All they did was make an adjustment, just like teams make adjustments at halftime, like team make adjustments during the season. So don't try to pull that card. Y'all didn't do nothing special. All the Bulls did was get more physical and put themselves in a position to be physical with y'all because they knew, okay, this is gonna be a dogfight. If we're gonna beat them, we're gonna have to beat them at their own game, which is being physical. Y'all didn't do nothing special. Y'all didn't give them nothing special. So don't try to sun the Bulls. Get off that.
And if it's so easy to replicate, that means you weren't doing nothing unique in the first place.
That's such a great point. Exactly. If they were so easy,
that means y'all were playing. You know what I'm saying? You could just insert somebody else here, throw elbows there. It doesn't mean you were bringing something unique to the table. Now that we're on this topic, let me ask you another question, Dylan. So, Isiah Thomas had a lot to say, and he has so much to say, which he has so much to say. Yeah. I know he was watching them episodes like, when I get on first take tomorrow, I'm finna go in.
Right.
Okay, now it's a sport, yes, but they love to market nowadays more than a game, more than an athlete.
Right.
We gotta remember that.
Yes.
So, Dennis Rodman going to the Bulls, trades happen all the time in every sport. Trades can happen in the middle of the season, anytime. It's always hard as a fan to see your favorite player go to a division rival.
Right.
Deshaun Jackson going to the Redskins.
I forgot he played for the Redskins.
You know what I'm saying? And then once he made his first touchdown as a Redskin, he was doing like this in the end zone. Dylan, my heart broke. So imagine as an athlete, your teammate, one of your best teammates goes to your rival.
Teammate you won a championship with.
Teammates you won with goes to your rival, goes to that team that, y'all are going head to head.
Right.
So can you see why Isiah Thomas is so deep in his feelings about Dennis Rodman going to the Bulls and why he thinks that was the difference maker for the Bulls?
I can definitely see it. I compare this almost directly to KD going to Golden State, leaving Oklahoma City.
Yeah, but it would be different if it was like the Cavs getting someone from the Warriors.
That's true.
Because if the Cavs got
Oklahoma City
Draymond,
had one,
if the Cavs got Draymond, like, okay, we can't beat the Warriors, let's get one of their best defensive players, and then now they're like, we beat y'all partying with Draymond, like Draymond wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Can you see why Isiah Thomas and the Pistons are like, they had to take one of our best players in order to beat us? That's really my question.
I mean, I can see where he's coming from, yes, but again, like, if y'all were so great, y'all apparently innovated this style. Y'all made up this style. Y'all had some culture. Y'all had whatever y'all had. And he was saying
that those players that went from the Pistons to the Bulls were able to bring that
and combined it,
and say, oh, he has these tendencies, he has those tendencies, he has these tendencies, letting them know on the inside scoop what's going down at the Pistons. So
I see what he's saying, and I get the point. It's a valid point. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, y'all still got to play the game. Okay, y'all lost Dennis. What's stopping them from bringing in somebody else who could have been a player of Dennis's caliber? They made adjustments. Y'all got to make adjustments. They made adjustments to be able to beat you. Y'all just couldn't make adjustments to beat them. I feel like the problem I have with it is I feel like Isiah Thomas was trying to dampen the greatness of the Bulls. That's where I'm really butthurt about it. You were trying to dampen the greatness of the Bulls. You were trying to take away what they did. No, don't take away what they did. They made adjustments, and that was part of their greatness. They were able to make adjustments.
Great teams make adjustments.
Exactly. So they were able to make adjustments. If y'all were such a great team and y'all so-called invented y'all style of play, or y'all had whatever culture y'all had, that culture came from y'all. Shouldn't y'all be able to do it better than the Bulls would do it? And he had to say himself, he said they combined what the Pistons were doing with the Bulls' greatness, and that's how they were able to beat them. Okay, well, obviously y'all didn't have that same greatness that the Bulls had. Y'all didn't have a Michael Jordan. Y'all didn't have a Scottie Pippen. So I don't know what you want me to say. Y'all weren't the best team. Y'all were not the better team. Yes, they made adjustments. That's on y'all. Y'all couldn't make adjustments to counter their adjustments. I don't know what to say. Like I said, the main thing for me is I feel like Isiah Thomas tried to dampen the greatness and how great the Bulls were, and I feel he really, like I said, he tried to sun them. Yeah. And I don't feel like that was right. Y'all got beat, point blank, period.
You hit the nail on the head there, Dylan. That was great what you said. Yeah, he was really trying to downplay, like, oh yeah, they ain't all that. You know what I'm saying? Right. I guess he doesn't like, y'all got your 30 for 30, okay? It's the Bulls time. Share. You know what I'm saying? Sharing is caring. Y'all had your time.
He just sounded...
It's their documentary now. You know what I'm saying? Relax.
While he sounded professional, whatever, on first take, I just got real bitter and crybaby undertones talking about something. They took 3 of our players. They had Dennis Rodman. They had John Sally.
He was saying it like this. They took Dennis Rodman. They took John Sally. But also,
that's how he was on the inside.
If y'all culture was so amazing and so wonderful, if y'all were the team to be, why would Dennis want to go somewhere else?
Exactly.
Food for thought. All right.
I want to say one more thing. Y'all were coming off
that. We're gonna have to move on.
Y'all were coming off. Last thing quick. Y'all were coming off back-to-back championships. Exactly. If y'all were so great, why would Dennis want to leave?
Can we talk about Dennis Rodman looking like DeMar DeRozan?
Boy, he look like DeMar DeRozan,
young
daddy.
DeMar DeRozan, for real. I just had to get that in.
Yeah, at least cousins, boy. Y'all belong.
Right, y'all better check that out. Yeah. Y'all cousins.
Y'all might see each other at the next cookout. There's something y'all don't know about each other.
Right, I did. We just had to throw that in there.
Y'all got something mutual going on.
Dylan thought Barbara Walters was Martha Stewart. He said, is that Martha Stewart? Barbara Walters, Martha Stewart, home ec versus journalism queen. Just had to put that out there.
Moving on.
Let's talk about that mindset Jordan was talking about. He didn't want to go down as a great player, but not having any championships. We saw that happen with... you always get that, he's great, he's this, but he doesn't have whatever rings. You know what I'm saying?
And you know who that really went down with? Charles Barkley. He's one of the main players that was great, doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? Like when Jordan was in that, I don't really know how to ask a question around this, but let's just, ponder that. Athletes that, they're great, they whatever, but they just don't have a ring. And then that people judge them on not having the ring. But they didn't have a great team around them. They didn't have a great coach. They didn't have a Scottie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's touch on that.
Sometimes
look at Russell Westbrook.
Sometimes it is truly out of their control. Like you said, Russell Westbrook. That is kind of...
I mean, obviously it's not Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
but I'm saying who would have known, like, okay, if Kevin Durant stayed, if they got a...
And Russell still can get a championship. But...
Yeah, he still can.
But there are definitely factors in each case. You look at Charles Barkley. He had so many other great teams to go up against during that time. honestly, it was just a bad time for Charles Barkley. He had to go up against Jordan. He had the Rockets when Jordan was retired. He was like, oh, the Bulls gone, bet I'm finna get me a ring. But then you had Elijah Wan, Kenny the Jet Smith, and all them boys in Houston go and get their chip and capitalize on Jordan's absence. So it was just a bad time for Charles Barkley. He still had a pretty good team. Obviously, he didn't have the team that Jordan or the Rockets or any of those other teams, maybe even the Utah Jazz had. But he still had a good team, but it was just a bad time for Charles Barkley.
Since we touched on LeBron a little bit, I just want to say nobody except for Kobe, like you mentioned, really had that burning intensity to win. I feel like visible intensity to win like Jordan has.
Yeah, during games, you could see it on Jordan's face that he was gonna do anything to win. When he was locked in, oh man, that look just him going, whew, not again. I mean, it compared to no other besides Kobe when he would do the little.
Right, and even him just sitting there talking about them other games, you can just see the intensity in his face.
Exactly, it's like he having flashbacks, like he ready to go again. Like,
right, put me in.
If Jordan could, he'd probably still be playing.
Not with that gut.
He got a little gut now.
Little drinking gut.
Hey, but look, I know he can still shoot. That shot, the last thing will leave you, boy. But yeah, Jordan's intensity, just like we said, Kobe's is the only person that's even close. Anybody else? Nah.
Let's talk about the migraine that Pippen suffered in Game 7 of the 1990 finals.
That was
You talk about
tough.
the worst time to have a headache, boy.
Exactly. You think they were finally about to dethrone the not only two-time, but the East, will go on to be two-time, but the defending champion Pistons. You think Jordan's thinking, oh man, I'm finally gonna get past the Pistons, my rival. Finally gonna get that first ring.
You can tell Jordan was even still irked
yes.
in his confessional. He's talking about Scottie had a headache. The way he minimized it to a headache, that man was seeing double.
Exactly. He couldn't see periods
he was saying,
sometimes.
I had to just come to terms. Something about like I had to trust him. Like maybe people were skeptical whether the severity of it.
Yeah.
But you could tell he was still irked by that. He said Scottie had a headache.
Scottie had a headache.
He's
so
still mad. He big mad.
Big mad. But I understand why. But yeah, that's just worst time possible. And I know I feel bad for Scottie too, because people will be skeptical and degrading them, like, bro, you just had a migraine, you could have played through that. Your adrenaline should have got you through that.
Exactly.
But
have you heard of Advil, sir?
Right, but he said he was seeing double at times. He couldn't see, like, I just couldn't imagine it. And there's probably a lot of pressure on you too. So all that stuff just added up that had to be going through him. Adrenaline obviously couldn't even tone it down. And he did try to play, but he was playing bad. So instead of being out there and hurting your team, take yourself out of that situation. And because he would start off the game like 1 for 6, and he just wasn't right. So him staying out there, obviously he would have got some touches, taking the ball. That's taking possessions away from your team, because if he's shooting and his shot broke because he don't know he's shooting at double rims, then that's taking possessions away from your team when they could have been scoring points. So I think he did the right thing and taking himself out of the game, be like, hey, I'm not myself, I can't play, and me being out there is hurting the team instead of helping the team. He did the right thing and taking himself out, I think.
Imagine trying to guard 2 people at once.
Exactly. Exactly. Did he go to the left? Did he go to the right?
Right, you just gotta plant your feet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just waving his hands.
1 week. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with what Isiah Thomas was saying? Do y'all think he was right, wrong, crying,
bitter,
validated, or what? Let us know what you guys think. Did you guys think Barbara Walters was Martha Stewart?
You're petty for that. Do y'all think Symone is petty?
Do you think Dennis Rodman looked like DeMar DeRozan?
Right. Will they see each other at the next cookout?
Yo, okay, like, comment, subscribe, yada, 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 all that good stuff. Bye.
Deuces.